that and facilitate that in a way that steers the practice away from corruption, the corrupting influences that the Labour Party has used in the last few election cycles to win elections. And that is the essence of our reform proposals. We have not received a reply or an acknowledgement that the Commission has received that letter. And you would have heard from members of the Commission who have spoken to you that the Commission has not discussed those proposals 10 months after they were sent in. So there seems to me to be some sort of plot between the leadership of the Commission and the government, the people on the government side of the Commission and the chairman, to frustrate our efforts to be involved and to contribute to the electoral reform process. How could it be that at the same time that the chairman of the commission and the commission, the chief elections officer, have not responded at all, even acknowledged our letter, the Prime Minister can at the same time be saying that we have not sent in any proposals, that we are not providing any counter arguments? Number one, Matt, we have no difficulty at all with the existing provisions in the law insofar as bribery and treating are concerned, and therefore we do not see any need for amending the existing provisions. Why then should we have any counter proposals? Our position is simple: leave the law as it is insofar as bribery is concerned, insofar as treating at election time is concerned, and deal with the matters that need to be dealt with. This whole question of ID cards for voting, to the extent that the legislation needs to facilitate that, yes. To the extent that the legislation needs to facilitate the re-registration of voters, all we are saying is there should be no registration of voters overseas. All registrations to vote in Dominica should take place in Dominica. And we are also saying to bring on board the other elements of reform that we are talking about and we have agreed to in the United Workers' Party that are necessary for Dominica, like election campaign finance reform and the whole question of access to media and the regularization of the overseas vote. But the reason this discussion at this time is so significant is because the government has not really abandoned its idea or its plan to legitimize bribery and treating. What it has done is that it has deferred consideration of the bills that the Prime Minister has introduced in Parliament. So at any time they could come back to Parliament and rush these measures, readings 1, 2, and 3 through the Parliament, almost like sneak it in. They can do it behind the back of the people, they can bring it in like a thief in the night, but they're not moving away from it, because if you listen to the Prime Minister, they're still committed to making those changes. Now, what I find really strange is in 2014, the Prime Minister invited the Commonwealth to send a team of observers for the election of December 8th, 2014. The Commonwealth sent in that team. The team made its observations. And a report was issued. Have you ever seen the report, Matt?
No, I haven't seen any report. As a matter of fact, sometime 2 weeks ago, I met with a very interesting source, and I was asking, did you recommend a report, anything to the government of Dominica? I've never seen any report from any of the observers.
Well, we've seen...
Is that available?
Well, I now have a copy of the report.
Only now?
A couple of weeks ago, because I've been studying it.
Okay.
I have a copy of the report which I requested from the technical team from the Commonwealth that has visited Dominica and is working with the Commonwealth, with the Electoral Commission. They spoke to us in the context of that exercise, giving technical assistance on electoral reform to the Electoral Commission. And I asked for a copy of the 2014 report. I have a copy of the 2014 report. And a number of questions arising out of that. The only thing I want to do this morning, Matt, is to read part of the conclusion of that report, where it states, quote,
It appears that this is surfacing publicly for the first time.
I don't know. You said you've never seen it.
No.
I've told you that I got this report for the first time within the last 2 weeks. Okay? And it says, the mission concludes, however, that the election, and we're talking here about the election of 2014, December 8th, 2014, was not necessarily fair due to the lack of balance and in some cases lack of professionalism of the media, the absence of campaign finance regulations, and the resultant lack of transparency on financing, coupled with the exponentially increased expense associated with campaigning, multiple instances of cheating and bribery, including the transportation of electors to the island to vote, and the apparent abuses of incumbency, including a lack of impartiality in the provision of public services. We therefore propose the following recommendations. And I'm sure over the next couple of weeks, you will have an opportunity to examine what is it that the Commonwealth Elections Observer Mission proposed by way of recommendations to the Electoral Commission and the government of Dominica.
Lennox, can you read again, please? Can you read again?
You want to read again?
Yes.
Okay. People of Dominica, listen carefully. This is the conclusion of the Election Observer Mission from the Commonwealth. The election was held on the 8th of December 2014. Quote, the mission concludes, however, that the election was not necessarily fair due to the lack of balance and in some cases lack of professionalism of the media, the absence of campaign finance regulations, and the resultant lack of transparency on financing, coupled with the exponentially increased expense associated with campaigning, multiple instances of cheating and bribery, including the transportation of electors to the island to vote, and the apparent abuses of incumbency, including a lack of impartiality in the provision of public services. Yes. Now, Matt, in this summary of the conclusion of the Election Observer Mission from the Commonwealth, we have effectively an encapsulation of the elements of electoral reform. The things that need to be done, the things that need to be changed, the things that need to be improved in the context of electoral reform. For example, it speaks here of the lack of balance and the lack of professionalism of the media. That affects the media access matter. We have been addressing that. It speaks to the absence of campaign finance regulations. We've been talking about it as part of the electoral reform. It speaks to the increased expenses associated with campaigning. It speaks to the election offenses of bribery and cheating and concludes that there were multiple instances of these election offenses, including the transportation of electors to the island to vote. We've been talking about that. We've been saying it is illegal. We've been saying it is criminal, and it must not be part of our election process. Therefore, there needs to be strict enforcement of the provisions of law to prevent bribery and to prevent cheating, not to create new legal facilitation for bribery and cheating as practiced by the Labour Party to win elections, to continue. That's not what we want. We don't want the laws to conform to what the DLP wants to win elections. We want the DLP to conform to the laws of the land so that we can have not just free, but fair elections in Dominica. The summary of the Commonwealth in terms of its concerns, conclusions, talks about the apparent abuses of incumbency, including a lack of impartiality in the provision of public services. Incumbency means who is there right now. These are the people who are occupying government. And what this part speaks to is the abuse of public office to assist the Labour Party to win elections. Because the provision of public services right now is the responsibility of the Labour Party government. And where the Election Observer Mission is telling you that there is no partial, there's a lack of impartiality, lack of fairness,
So why? I don't know if I should be asking you this
providing
question.
public services.
Why is this report only surfacing now?
I have no idea, Matt. From my
When was this report presented, Lennox?
From my point of view, all I know is that this is a report that normally would be sent to the government because it was the Prime Minister who asked the Commonwealth to send an observer mission in, and they did, so that by way of settled practice and terms of reference, the commission, this report would go to the Electoral Commission, it would go to the government, it would go to...
So maybe the commissioners
leaders,
are aware.
It would go to the leaders of political parties, and it would, subsequent to that, go to the other heads of government of the Commonwealth, or the governments of the Commonwealth. So I don't know why we have not had this available to us before now, or why is it that the commission as a body has not spoken about it? Why is it the government that requested the assignment, the observer assignment, has not spoken about it? And those are questions that you can put to the government and you can put to the commission, as out of my own sense of civic duty and responsibility, not realizing that all this time was passing, we hadn't seen the report. We had an engagement with the technical team from the Commonwealth that is assisting the commission, Electoral Commission, with electoral reform. They requested a meeting with us. A group of members of the opposition sat down with the team and spoke to our concerns, gave them our written submissions on electoral reform for consideration and so on. And it occurred to me to ask them about this. What happened to your report of 2014? And it was through that process I got access to a copy of the report. But as far as I recall, I don't remember hearing anything publicly about it since. And you confirm that as a senior,
I have never ever seen that.
Dominica, you have not seen it. So that's a question that should be put to the commission.
Is it now available?
Well, I do not know, Matt. I'm telling you, I approached people in the Commonwealth Secretariat myself for a copy of the report as leader of the opposition in Dominica, and that's how I got it. So whether it was sent to the government, I don't know. Whether it was sent to us and for some reason I never saw it, I don't know. But this is a 2-year-old. This report is 2.5 years old.
That should have been made available. I mean, we're talking timelines. How long, given your experience, and you've just spoken about that you should get a report of that kind?
Within weeks, within months, for at best, in worst case, within months. And 2.5 years have gone by, and we really haven't heard anything publicly about this. Now, here is the question for the Electoral Commission. Did you receive the report? And if you received the report, what has the report been considered? Have you sat down as a body and considered the recommendations in the report insofar as electoral reform is concerned? And if you have done that, why are you seemingly supporting government's proposals for changing the electoral law?
And you have seen a copy of that report.
To facilitate bribery, to facilitate treating, which go completely opposite to the recommendations that have come to you from this observer mission of the Commonwealth.
So in a nutshell, Lennox, this international body, the observer, is saying it was not necessarily free.
No, it was free. People could go and vote, but it was not a fair election. And they outline why in their belief it was not fair. Reference is made here to the lack of balance, and in some cases lack of professionalism of the media. Reference is made to the absence of campaign finance regulations and the resultant lack of transparency of financing coupled with the exponentially increased expense associated with campaigning. Significantly, Matt, reference is also made to multiple instances of treating and bribery, including the transportation of electors to the island to vote.
I'm just very, very concerned at this time as a media professional. Why is this report surfacing only now? Almost 2.5 years later. Hello, somebody on the telephone. Hello.
Off the air, please.
Hello.
Off the air, please.
You if you want to talk to me off the air, call 449-1095. All right. Thank you very much. I'm hoping that this report now surfacing will be made available to the media, not only in Dominica, all over the world. All right. 449, Lennox will take a break.
Yeah,
and then
but
we'll
also, Matt, the media could take the initiative and
look for it.
Go to the website of the Commonwealth Secretariat.
You can find it there?
Well, it should be there. It should be in the library of the election observer missions of the Commonwealth. That report should be there. I'd be surprised if you can't find it there.
We're going to take a break and come back right after.
First time ever, the OECS Cycling Championship will be held in Dominica. Come Sunday, July 2nd, the cyclists from Anguilla, Antigua, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, British Virgin Islands, and the host country, Dominica, will ride their way into the record books, calling all Dominicans along their cycling route to come out and witness for yourselves. Share, support, and encourage Team Dominica, including Bram Sanders and Daddy Chess, Mills, Garon, and the boys, as they bend, go push, punch around the corner, waiting their option to navigate and negotiate the road as they compete with bobbing speed on Sunday, July 2nd. Starting from the Porterville Savannah, all the way to the entrance of the Cabrets National Park and back to Porterville Savannah. It's a 60-mile circuit race and it's lovely show. A race of fitness and endurance. Come out and support the first ever OECS organized cycling championships in Dominica. Sponsored by the Dominica Olympic Committee, Fine Foods Inc., Springfield Trading, S-Smart, Agret Hotel, Burton and Company, Ronald Charles Chambers, Marpin Flow, DBS, Kyrie Q and Vibes FM, Government of Dominica, Official Championship Water, Lupia Spring Water.
Madame Harry Porty Sacré Bois chez médecin ni côté petit pharmacie where Harry do good bossing class if you want to support and learning. It is how cafe Episa and not well my last 2 words. Episa. Harry upon yes is true. Pisa money on support la. Doctor di mo pour mettre urine and zimo 3 times a day. Madame Lieli do urine Harry miu no medicine to save are you. And where's the prescription? Il dit me a poche mommy. What's the sense of buying that? Les mo ka pisse tout temps. No, you see the importance of going to your pharmacist, listening to your pharmacist and having confidence in your pharmacist. PS.plus will they place a higher premium on patient-pharmacist relationship than Quick Care Pharmacy Kote Halsbro just before the National Bank. Kote Quick Care is not just a quick fix. It's not just about tablets and spoonfuls. They've brought back the care into medicine. Whether it's a prescription or over-the-counter medication, the priority is your health. To take the right medication, the right amount for the right reason. Madam Harry, I see right in your medical book, next of kin, Henrietta Harry, movie farmer. By the way, it's next of kin, her king, the Harry Ukakemo movie. All I want for you is good care. That is why I always recommend Quick Care Pharmacy because they have growth.
Someone is asking me, why is it surfacing now? Now, how should I know that? I know that we have tried, and some of the observers said that the reports would have been made available by January. Okay, sir? Media seem to be coming under fire here. It's an indictment on the investigative reporters of Dominica, that person said. Why is this report only surfacing now? Let's ask that question again.
Well, Matt, I am given a full disclosure statement insofar as it concerns my possession of a copy of the report, indicated clearly where I got it from. And I note that this is a report on an election that took place in 2014. But you see, you have to understand, Matt, that there is a process, there is a procedure. The Commonwealth Secretariat, the Commonwealth, right, sets up the mission on the request of the government of Dominica, and that was done. by way of the terms of reference, it is the responsibility of the Election Observer Mission to present their report to the Commonwealth Secretariat. And it is the Commonwealth Secretary General that has the responsibility to send the report to the Electoral Commission, to the government of Dominica, to the leaders of political parties in Dominica, and subsequent to that, to the governments of the Commonwealth. I do not know why that has not happened, and it is the government that would be in a position, or the Electoral Commission that would be in a position to say why, if they receive the report, the people of Dominica know nothing about it at this time. Because with access to it in the last couple of weeks, I am performing what I consider to be a civic duty to make certain of the contents known to the public insofar as the outcome of the election is concerned.
Very, very serious stuff here. A serious report like that only surfacing them 2 years later. Let's find out what is going on. I want to ask maybe one of the commissioners whether, they are aware of that report. Maybe sometime later, Talk on the Block, we'll find out from, the commission what is really going on here, and if they are aware of this report, and if they are, why was that report not made available to the public? Well, Lennox, we have to kind of wrap it up, and we'll be talking a lot more.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much.
I'll try my very best to get in touch with one of the commissioners to find out if they are aware, and when was this report delivered, if you will, to the commission. I don't know. This baffles me. A report of that nature. Yes, that's the word. Why only now has this been made available? Lennox, read again for me before you go.
Let me just.
Yes, please. What you finding out
from
in that report?
From the conclusions of the Commonwealth Election Observer Mission. This relates to the election in Dominica on the 8th of December 2014. The mission concludes, quote, the mission concludes, however, that the election was not necessarily fair due to the lack of balance and in some cases lack of professionalism of the media, the absence of campaign finance regulations and the resultant lack of transparency on financing, coupled with the exponentially increased expense associated with campaigning, multiple instances of treating and bribery, including the transportation of electors to the island to vote, and the apparent abuses of incumbency, including a lack of impartiality in the provision of public services.
All right, we'll be hearing a lot more. Lennox, as you go, before you go, a lot of questions for some reason, of course, surfacing at this time and have in the past few weeks. It appears that your audience seem not clear on what that latest charge against Mr. Byrne is. Can you clarify for us?
Well, we did state back in April, Matt, that the Privy Council, after Mr. Byrne made a request for £93,000 for his cost to the Privy Council, the Privy Council has certified an amount of just under £46,000. Of which £20,000 has already been paid as of a year ago. So this balance of just under £26,000 has to be settled. And
you had a deadline?
Well, they gave a deadline of 7 days, but there are some interim matters to be dealt with, which my lawyers have engaged with the lawyers of Mr. Pinard Byrne on. and that has to do with cost at the High Court and the Appeal Court for the second defendant who are indemnified.
So that has not been settled yet?
No, well, we have made a request for that to be dealt with in the context of the settlement of the Privy Council costs. And so that's where we are. So Mr. Byrne has continued with his pattern of threatening, intimidatory kind of demand letters. I don't know who he believes he's scaring.
You're not moved at all?
No, absolutely not. The debt is the judgment debt is not denied. It was at the Mr. Byrne would love to have had it at £93,000. The Privy Council has decided £46,000, of which £20,000 have been paid. The High Court costs and damages have been settled in full. So we have been absolutely responsible in our approach to this matter. All I'm saying at this point, and all I want the people of Dominica to understand, because a lot of people are asking me, well, what are you doing? Are you going to, before any money is paid to Mr. Byrne regarding the Privy Council debt, because some has already been paid, 43% of the Privy Council debt has already been settled. But there are some monies owed to me on behalf of the second defendant who I indemnified for the case in the High Court and the case in the Appeal Court, which went in the second defendant's favor, but which was not appealed to the Privy Council. The Privy Council in its judgment made it clear that this appeal is against the first defendant in the matter only, meaning me. So the decision that went in favor of the second defendant and the third defendant at the level of the Appeal Court was not appealed to the Privy Council. And therefore what the Privy Council says or does applies only to the first defendant, because that's who the appeal was against. The second defendant and the third defendant are therefore entitled to their costs with respect to the judgment that went in their favor at the Appeal Court. I indemnified the second defendant, and so that cost must now inure to my benefit, and we want that matter to be resolved before we move on settlement of the, and I think that's only fair. I think the people of Dominica would understand that. So for those who are anxious about my well-being and who are concerned as to whether we're going to raise more money and so on, we're not going to have a radiothon for this. When the matter comes to the point where we have agreed on what is owed finally, taking into consideration the earlier court costs and so on, then the people will be advised, and those who wish to help in one way or the other will do that. That's where we are right now.
Thank you very much. And thanks for the update. 9 o'clock.
The union's inspirations through
Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m. The Dominica Public Service Union calling on all its members to a very special meeting. Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m. Come and discuss salary negotiations.
We're coming to get our check.
The government and the DPSU. Let your voice be counted. The strength of many, the power of one. United in purpose, united in action. Get your t-shirts today, only $15. The Dominica Public Service Union special meeting, Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m. Okay, we're going to give you an update from the weather. Stick around, the 8 o'clock update, and then we stop for another program.
The National Hurricane Center started issuing advisories on potential tropical cyclone 2 located east of the Les Antilles. A close circulation has not been confirmed within the system. However, that system has a high chance of becoming a tropical storm and poses a threat to land. And tropical storm warnings has been issued for portions of the southern Windward Islands as of last night. Tropical storm warnings are in effect for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad, Tobago, and Grenada. A tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area within 36 hours. At 5 a.m. this morning, the disturbance was centered near latitude 8.4 degrees north, longitude 54.5 degrees west, or about 485 miles or 780 kilometers east-southeast of Trinidad. The system is moving towards the west near 23 miles per hour, or 37 kilometers per hour. A fast motion towards the west-northwest is expected for the next 48 hours. On the forecast track, the disturbance is expected to move through the southern Windward Islands tonight and Tuesday. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour or 65 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Some strengthening is forecast during the next 48 hours, and the disturbance is expected to reach tropical storm intensity as it moves through the Windward Islands tonight and Tuesday. Shower and thunderstorm activity associated with this disturbance continue to show signs of organization, and additional development is likely during the next couple of days. Tropical storm force winds extend outwards up to 60 miles or 90.
Okay, it's 9:02. I've just been told that we have an update coming in, and this update is the 8 o'clock update from the media center there, okay? The weather office. Let's listen to the 8 o'clock update at this time, right now. Keep your eyes on the weather.
The weather update for Dominica as of 8 a.m. Monday 19th June 2017. Potential tropical cyclone number 2 continues to move rapidly towards the southern Windward Islands. Tropical storm warnings are in effect for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad, Tobago, and Grenada, and the government of Barbados has discontinued the tropical storm warning for Barbados. A tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area within 36 hours. At 8 a.m., the disturbance was centered near latitude 8.7 degrees north, longitude 55.7 degrees west, or about 400 miles or 645 kilometers east-southeast of Trinidad. The system is moving towards the west near 23 miles per hour or 37 kilometers per hour. A fast motion towards the west-northwest is expected for the next 48 hours. On the forecast track, the disturbance is expected to move through the southern Windward Islands tonight and Tuesday. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour or 65 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Some strengthening is forecast during the next 48 hours, and the disturbance is expected to reach tropical storm intensity as it moves through the Windward Islands tonight and Tuesday. Shower and thunderstorm activity associated with the disturbance continues to show signs of organization, and additional development is likely during the next couple of days. Tropical storm force winds extend outwards up to 60 miles or 90 kilometers, mainly northwest through northeast of the center. Tropical storm conditions are expected to first reach the warning area overnight Monday and Tuesday morning, making outside preparations difficult or dangerous. The disturbance is expected to produce total rainfall accumulations of 2 to 4 inches over the Windward Islands Monday through Tuesday. Despite the fact that no watches or warnings has been issued for Dominica, residents are advised to monitor the progress of this system and to remain vigilant, as a feeder band from the system could move across the island, resulting in an increase in rainfall, possible thunderstorms, and gusty winds by tonight into Tuesday, and a flash flood warning or watch may be issued for Dominica by tonight. A small craft warning is already in effect for Dominica as of 6 p.m. yesterday to 6 p.m. on Tuesday for above normal seas and high winds. The Dominica Meteorological Service will continue to monitor the situation and provide you with the necessary updates. The next update will be at 11 a.m. Marshall Alexander, weather forecaster, Dominica Meteorological Service.
We are in the hurricane season. Be sure to gather food and water because a hurricane may last for a while. Canned food is the only kind acceptable for an event such as a hurricane. Again, make sure the food is fresh. Cook all raw meats in your refrigerator and freeze them. They will help keep the other food cold, and you can take them out one at a time for meals that do not require cooking. Try getting canned food that doesn't require any added water or milk, such as Progresso. If you decide to stay at home, fill up the bathtub. An average bathtub full of water holds enough water for about 3 days. That is, if you have one. It also makes it possible to flush the toilet using a bucket. You could also...
When the union's in inspirations through
Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m. The Dominica Public Service Union calling on all its members to a very special meeting. Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m. Come and discuss salary negotiations.
We're coming to get our check.
The government and the DPSU. Let your voice be counted. The strength of many, the power of one. United in purpose, united in action. Get your t-shirts today, only $15. The Dominica Public Service Union special meeting, Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m. It's 9:07 in the morning and we're talking about something very, very positive at this time. The National AIDS Office, and we have an officer of the office. He'll tell us just what his mission is at this time. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, man.
How are you doing there?
I'm good.
Good.
Good morning again.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, but I'm here. We're here.
Doesn't mean that AIDS is on the decrease. The fact that I'm not seeing you?
It means that I'm working.
All right, I like that.
It means that I'm working, man. So this morning we're gonna just give a reminder again, because we've been on a number of radio programs talking about Regional Testing Day. Mm-hmm. Regional Testing Day has been observed for the past 10 years across the Caribbean, and it's a really good initiative that was started by a media person. Actually, it was initiated by Dr. Alison Leacock.
Okay.
There was a Caribbean Media Alliance, which has changed over for the last 2 years to what we call Live Up Caribbean Media Alliance. So she was a media person who came up with the idea of encouraging Caribbean people to get tested across the board, and this is observed every year at the last Friday in June. And this year, the last Friday in June is on the 30th of this month. So what we've been doing in Dominica, we have been having testing going on for the entire month of June across the 7 districts, and we're encouraging persons to come and get tested, know what your status is, so that you can enroll into care. The nice thing about it, Matt, we are encouraging people because we want to know that if you have not been tested, get tested. Be the first time that you're getting tested, so you know where you stand. And for us at the National HIV Unit, that's what we're pushing. So actually the theme this year is, are you negative, are you positive, test like a champion.
How are we doing in terms of testing in Dominica?
We're doing pretty good, Matt. In fact, last year, if you're looking at the newspaper and Dominica News Online, Dominica received an award for being the most improved testing country for the past 10 years. So since we started, and we're culminating 10 years in Regional Testing Day, when we started, we started with about 72 persons getting tested in 2008. And last year, we had up to between 800 and 900 persons getting tested. So my supervisor went to Barbados a few weeks ago and received an award from the Caribbean Media Alliance, which is Live Up Caribbean Media Alliance, to receive a trophy or a recognition based on that achievement.
Why do you think persons in Dominica are a little more eager for testing than we used to be?
Very good question, man. It's, as I said, you have not been seeing me because we've been out there working. Right. So we're making people, we're doing a lot of sensitization, education, and information. But also, right now, for the past couple of years, we've had what we call a rapid testing service, where you come to any sites at any time that they're doing testing, and you get your test results in about 30 to 40 minutes. So that has encouraged people, instead of having to go to the hospital or to the labs, the private and the public labs, and probably have to wait for your test results at least a week or sometimes 2 weeks. You come in, you walk in, you get counseled, you get pre-counseled, you get the test done, and you get a post-counseling session based on your sexual behavior risk. So that is what we are doing, Matt, and that is why it has extended. And if you go in any district right now, in fact, I have a list of activities that have been going in across the 7 districts in Dominica, and you can get tested. Once you know the dates, you can visit and you get tested.
All right, I think that's very, very positive. A lot of times I have said during interviews that Dominicans seem to have, or some nationals seem to have, a kind of a laissez-faire attitude towards testing. Maybe that was before. The whole approach has changed?
Yeah, it has changed totally. I must say that we have improved dramatically, especially the young population. The young population are more open about their sexuality and their sexual behavior risk. So it's easy for them to come access the commodities, for example, condoms, lubricants at the office or at the health center, and it makes it a lot easier. But what we've also been doing a lot of exposure on persons who have an older age group, for example, 40 and upwards, people who have not been comfortable, we're encouraging them also to get tested, because if you've never been tested, you'll never know what your status is. And if you don't know what your status is, then you cannot enroll into care. And if you don't enroll into care, that means you'll be going a downward slope, which you could have avoided. Because if you're HIV positive, you can get treatment, which is free for the client, although somebody always pays for it, but that enhances your quality of life a lot, and people need to know that. So we're pushing it forward as much as possible, man.
Let's talk about the status as it relates to where are we in terms of AIDS. People always want to know, for some reason, how many AIDS patients we have, how many persons have died. Give us some hard facts at this time.
All right, you like facts? I know you like facts, man. I'll give you as much as I can give you. For right now, Dominica, in fact, across the Caribbean, we have what we call a 0.75 prevalence, which means that it's still below 1%. Although for us in the Caribbean, which is a small region, the rate is high, but in terms of our prevalence, it's below 0.75%. In Dominica, really, we get about between 12 to 18 cases every year, and that doesn't change. I mean, at times it will fluctuate a bit, so sometimes it might be lower, sometimes it might be higher, but it's constant, and that is good for us. But what we're trying to do right now is to limit this as much as possible. And
you said 12 to 18?
Yes, between 12 and 18 cases per year. All right, so on any given time we might get less, and on any given time we might get more. Because last year we did a lot more testing. It went up to above 20, but we did a lot more testing. As I said, we have been recognized for doing the most tests across the Caribbean during regional testing day. So that is important. But what has happened when people are tested, in terms of the figures, you can be HIV positive and not develop AIDS. And which is a very, very important point that we always want people to understand. Because what we are trying to do, the World Health Organization, by 2030, that no one is dying of AIDS. You can be HIV positive, eventually get old and die, but not necessarily die of an AIDS-related illness. And that is very important. So in Dominica, I mean, right now on paper, we have at least 482 persons. And over the years, we've had at least between 185 to 200 deaths from since 1987, since the first case was reported in Dominica. But we always say, for every one person, there are at least 3 or 4 other persons. My supervisor will tell you a bit more.
I've heard 10.
Yeah, you've heard 10. But still, we're trying to be positive, and we're trying to encourage people to get tested as much as possible to know where they stand. So in terms of figures, we are somewhere where we can do a lot better. And we can only do better when people are accessing care, when people are getting information, when people are being sensitized, and when people are taking the responsibility for themselves and protecting themselves in terms of...
In terms of the age range of persons who are dying from AIDS in Dominica, who have died, what are we looking like?
We are still looking at the 25 to 49 age group. So working population is still the population with the highest rate. Right now, we hardly have anybody who's like teenagers who are HIV positive. So most our greater population, if you look at our stats, is between 25 to 49, basically. So
25 to 49.
And then again, interestingly, as I said, because people are accessing care, people are no longer dying within that age. They're dying above that age, because if they are virally suppressed, meaning that they're taking the medication, the virus is low in the system, they live up to 70, 80 years and normal causes. And that is one of the things that we want the general public to know. If you access care, your quality of life changes, and you can actually live up to your free scores and 10.
I'm going to ask you the question that everybody maybe wants to ask, but a lot of times are afraid to ask.
Please do.
This is the question that even last week in a discussion with some friends, the health professionals, trying to find, why are these health professionals, why are these nurses, why are these doctors not telling who has that dreaded disease? Are you not protecting the public when you do that?
Okay, so my question to that question, before I answer it, if you are diabetic or hypertensive, or even have cancer, is it something that you think the general public should know? That's my question. So I'm leaving that one hand, but let's put it that way. Somebody's health status is their personal business. Because the thing is, HIV isn't something like red eyes, which is a wrong right now.
Right.
Conjunctivitis, where you get in contact with somebody and it's contracted and you can get it. By a handshake, by something that they've touched and they touch your eyes. It's something that is personal. For you to get HIV, for you to contract HIV, you'll have to be sexually involved with somebody. you'll have to have been involved with the person's blood at some point or the other.
All right.
So for us, and I think from a general health point of view, if this is not happening, then why would you need to know what my HIV status is if you're not going to be involved with me on that level? If you're a healthcare provider and I come to the hospital, then you need to know my status if you're going to be dealing with me. But from a general, or what do you say, the man on the street point of view, what benefit is it to you knowing if I'm HIV positive and the way that I contracted to you is for sexual intercourse and we are not sexually involved?
Very intelligent answer, but I think you've not really answered the question per se. That's all right. You go to the hospital. You're out there socializing, for example. Right. I'm just giving you a few examples. Right. You know this person is HIV positive. That's what it is. Is a carrier. You know this person is going out there, not necessarily intentionally, but spreading that disease. Right. Who do you have the responsibility to?
Okay, that's a very good question again. So, I think recently there was a case in the United States where somebody deliberately, they didn't reveal their status to somebody.
They knew that they were.
Right. So now you're talking about...
And they were having sex.
Right. So now you're talking about how lawmakers should get involved in stuff like this. But from a healthcare point of view, if you come to the hospital today with a condition, do you think it's my responsibility to tell somebody who has no concern or that it doesn't benefit the person what your status is? You may come with a number of different things. We could talk about gonorrhea, we could talk about syphilis, we could talk about any of the other STIs. Do you think it's my responsibility to tell somebody out there that you have gonorrhea or syphilis?
No.
Right.
But my point is, you know as a health professional that this person is out there spreading that disease. You don't think that you have a responsibility to say that?
Everybody has a responsibility for their sexual behavior.
Right.
So if, for example, I am HIV positive and I decide I want to go to bed with a young woman or a young man, let's say I'm somebody who's involved, who's an MSM, let's say that. Isn't it your responsibility that if you're going to get sexually involved with me, you know what my sexual status is? You know that you need to use a condom to protect yourself. Because when you say yes to me, when you give consent to me,
right,
you're saying it's okay. But you always have the option of saying you need to use a condom, Mr. Guy, or you need to use a condom, man. That is the person's responsibility, and I always say that. People's sexual health is your responsibility.
Wait, I'm going to come back. I'm not going to give up on you just yet. 919, hello, talk to me.
Good morning, Matt.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I hope you had a happy Father's Day and good morning.
Thank you.
I also wish you had a happy Father's Day. I want to tell your guest, Matt, if you're hypertensive or diabetic,
yes,
you cannot infect somebody.
Okay.
You cannot affect somebody with it. You cannot go spreading it. But however, if you have an STD, you can go spreading it, and you can go spreading it deliberately. I remember sometime about Mark, there was an American man who deliberately came to the Caribbean. He went to Barbados, I can remember, Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad, and deliberately infecting black people. When he left the Caribbean, he documented it and the names of the women he affected, and he said he was...
So the intention was, I'm not going to die alone?
Intentional. He said he was deliberately targeting black people. Thank you very much, man.
Is that a fair comment, sir?
Well, I mean, if he looked at the news and he's got the information, I'm not going to take him on that. That's what he's listened to. But let me walk you through it again, man, so that we are clear on it.
Yeah.
So somebody's HIV positive, or let's say somebody has an STI. You meet that person in a jam, in a CK jam or whichever. You decide you like that person. You want to have sexual intercourse with the person. The person have not told you that they're HIV positive. They've not told you that they have any STI. But you have given consent as an adult to be sexually involved with that person. Right. Do you think the responsibility is on the person to tell you that I am HIV positive, or is the responsibility on your part to decide that if I'm going to have sex, I need to protect myself? That's my question to you, or the general public. Because at the end of the day, person's sexual risk, unless that you're sexually assaulted, is your responsibility.
We'll come back. 921. Hello. He has posed a question to you. Hello. Talk to me.
Good morning, Matthew.
This
is Dr. Shillingford Wickett. And I am calling in connection with the statement that your gentleman just made.
Right.
He's been correct all along. However, there is one discrepancy because HIV is a sexually transmitted infection by and large. And in public health, and this has been my problem with public health, dealing with HIV, from the time they started planning their public health approach. There are other sexually transmitted infections, which he mentioned too: syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia. Now, I was taught in medical school, if you diagnose somebody with syphilis, you pass on the information to your public health personnel, and they go out and do the contact tracing so that they can get these people treated so they do not pass on the infection. And the same principle is not applied to HIV. And I am concerned about this discrepancy because it is an STI like all the others. So if I can inform the public health nurse as to who has gonorrhea and who has syphilis, so they can go out and do the contact tracing and get the people in for treatment, I think it should be applied to HIV. But this is just my humble opinion, and I would like the gentleman to explain this discrepancy for me. Thank you.
All right.
Wonderful. So I'm listening to what Dr. Shillingford is saying, and she's right. We do contact tracing when somebody is HIV positive, like all other STIs. So if, for example, I am the kiss, I'm the principal kiss, and I have had sex with a number of other persons. When the community health nurse comes to me, she tells me that I have been identified, and okay, let's say I'm identified as an HIV positive person. She comes to me, talk with me, and ask me for the person that I may have had sexual intercourse with the past year or the past 6 months.
All right.
And she does contact tracing is done for HIV. But the question you're asking is different from what Dr. Shillingford is saying. With contact tracing from a public health point of view is done for HIV. But in terms of letting somebody who has not been involved with you, just because they'll sit on the same bus with you or go to the same restaurant with you, it's on a need-to-know basis. And that's what I'm talking about.
Let me bring it home. Let me bring it home here. Okay. I have a family member.
Right.
Right? That may be interested in somebody. You found out by your professional contacts or information, this person may be HIV. You don't think that you have a responsibility as a health professional to protect your family member? Let's get real here.
I like what you're saying, Mark. Let's get real.
Yes.
Let's get real. So, somebody who's HIV positive is interested in a cousin of mine.
Right.
From a healthcare point of view, you know, even doctors take an oath. So healthcare providers are supposed to be professional, are supposed to be ethical, are supposed to be people that confident.
Right.
So you mean to tell me if I know that my cousin is going to get involved with somebody who has an STI, I'm not even saying it's HIV. Do you think that is not overriding the person's confidence in me as a healthcare provider? Because if I start doing that and somebody find out that I've done it, don't you think that it will be reflected not only on me as a healthcare provider, but on Dominica's healthcare system, that the nurses are not professional, your business gets on the street and all of that? That is my question again. So not that I'm avoiding your question, I'm giving you scenarios and how it will be reflected as a healthcare provider. If you breach that confidence that people have placed in you and decide to want to protect anybody, could be a friend, a family, a sex.
So the question to you might be, because you're answering the questions with a question. The question, do you think you have a responsibility to protect your family member though?
I think as a healthcare provider, my responsibility...
You're just being professional.
Yes. I have to be professional. And that is the most important thing at the point. Because I will give my son all the information that he needs to know in terms of protecting himself. And it's his responsibility as an adult to keep protecting himself. But the amount of information that's in my head that I know about people on the street, if I think I have to tell every family member of mine who's in contact with that person, what do you really think will happen, Matt? If every nurse that knows everything about somebody tells a family member of them that, to protect that family member, what do you think will happen to our health system?
No, I agree with you, but I will confess that a lot of what we try to protect at this time, a lot of it may be out there too.
Then my question to you is, as a media person, when you get your sources that give you information, do you think you should reveal them to the people that you
if I am told, if I'm put in a situation where somebody tells me, you know, this guy is going to murder this guy, and I have that information to protect the person,
it's your civic duty.
I will not reveal the source, but I will. My civic responsibility is let's take a phone call. We have more. Hello, talk to me. We're having a very interesting discussion here this morning. Hello.
Yes. Good morning, my brother. Good morning to your guest in studio.
Yes.
Yes, I want to ask the individual with you in studio. I worked at Children's Center for 12 years.
Right.
And there was a young lady. Even she passed away right now. She was diagnosed with HIV. But why I'm calling to say that her boyfriend was Jamaican.
Okay.
Worked on the job, and it's been 2002 since I left the job to now, and he was with her for years, and he took 3 tests upon tests, and he came out negative. You know, so if it was sexually transmitted disease, how comes he never get, infected? And he was with her for, he never knew she was like that. Maybe she knew that, I understood, but he never. So this is why I question it. But I know other sexual transmitted disease to me, that's what breaking down the immune system. And the reason why I said that if anybody go on YouTube and Google Dr. Sebi, what he have to say about it, it have a lot to do with also how you eat, how the healthy the body is, and it's other infection.
So the question is really what? Because the health professional is here sitting, waiting for that question here. Okay?
And I think this is a brilliant question, and I'll tell you why. As I said in the beginning, it's important for people to know their status so that they enroll in care and get treated. If somebody is HIV positive and they are being treated, and they're taking the medication 98 to 100%, it has what we call being virally suppressed. The amount of virus
it's still there, but it's suppressed.
But it's suppressed. It's almost like how will I say? Yeah, it's suppressed. So that means that there are times that they may have sexual intercourse with somebody else and they will not pass it on to the other person. And in fact, I was having a conversation with a young lady who lives in the United States, and she's working in HIV. What they've been trying is getting persons who are HIV positive into care, enrolled into care, sustained in care. So that means if they're virally suppressed, that even sometimes when they do have unprotected sex with partners, they do not pass it over to their partners. And research is starting to support that claim. So that is one of the reasons the young lady may not have gotten, the young man may not have gotten HIV or contracted HIV, because if the lady is on medication and she's virally suppressed, it may not happen.
All right, actually we're talking about testing, and of course these questions will surface.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. But let's take a phone call there. Hello.
Blessings to you, King.
How you doing, my brother?
I cool. Let me say welcome to the brethren and blessings, Matt.
Yes.
Dr. Hazel Shilling, Puerto Rican son, Dion, blessings to you. Matt, yesterday I was calling and inquiring if you are a father. You're on Carlisle.
Yes.
I send all you happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
A guy tell me you're a journalist and Carla is a reporter. No, Carla is a journalist and you're a talk show host. So don't go and send all your no Father's Day. Matt, something very interesting the brother is raising. Matt, to pass on your responsibility to somebody that may or may not be infected with some STDs or STIs, Matt, it is irresponsible. On your responsibility to that person. In the first place, you need to protect yourself. And if there is a lapse, it is you and you to blame. I agree if somebody is indiscriminately going around infecting people and there is evidence, then the brother said that the law should intervene. How long do you know your status? Were you tested? Is there evidence that you were tested and look, you were proven to have the virus? And why did you go around, look, you infected Jane, and she said that all you had unprotected sex? In that case there, yes, then the world is listening and saying, look, there's a case in Dominica or the Caribbean or Dominica is listening about a guy who infected people. But not even if you post every AIDS carrier pictures all over the place, that still doesn't prevent the spread of AIDS. It's about protecting oneself. And I am saying, Matt, how do you know if that person going around having sex that they are not protecting themselves? For you to just go, you know something, you have AIDS, I'm going to tell everybody you have AIDS. That it is not logical. It is not applicable where prevention is concerned. So I think the person can be an AIDS victim and agree, I don't want a partner, but I'll have sex with different people, but protecting myself. You don't know in the privacy of the bedroom or wherever if the person are protecting themselves or deliberately infecting somebody, unless if that person is making a claim that that person infected them. And if you the health people will have to come into play and say, yes, we tested him such and such a time, or her, and look, she was deliberately infecting people. So you can pass on your responsibility to somebody else, entrusting your health and your safety and your security with somebody else. You have to do that yourself, and I agree with him on that point, to not go publishing everybody's name who is infected, Matt. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You know, I was having a conversation some time ago with a nurse, okay? She was very professional. She said, Matt, something is on my mind. What is on your mind, pal? I know, and we're coming back to this discussion we had earlier, I know that this girl is out there. She's everywhere in the clubs. And I know she has that virus. She did not disclose who it was. And she is torn between the devil and the deep blue sea. Because here's that person that might give others that virus. And she feels like she's, in other words, somebody's out there who may be killing somebody, and she wants to report it. What does she do in that instance?
Oh, in terms of reporting it, I can't.
Oh, who does she report it to?
Who does she report it to? That I cannot answer you.
You cannot?
I will.
Is that a hard one?
I don't think it's a hard one. What I think is, if, as the gentleman is saying, somebody feels comfortable enough to say, okay, I've been involved with this gentleman or this girl and they deliberately place me at risk and I want to take it up, then they go to the lawmakers. But from a health provider,
is that legal or is it legislated?
That I don't know.
You don't know. I from my point of view, I don't think it is. But who protects, if you will, the innocent?
Yeah, who protects the innocent?
That's a discussion that we could continue to have. 9:34. It's a big medical. Maybe a medical person can help me in this one. Hello.
Yes, my brother, it's me again. Why I'm calling that, because I met a young lady in Dominica through friends. We're just having a conversation.
Right.
And it so happens she does testing.
Mm-hmm.
HIV. And I ask her, me, when I hear that, I always want to ask questions. So I ask her, when you do your testing, what do you look for? What do you see to figure out if the person's positive? So I was expecting to hear that I see a virus. But she said, no, it's while testing is a light in the machine, a light that detects and say that is person HIV a light. And it really brought really
maybe you can help us. What are you looking for when you do the test?
Okay. Well, so when you come to the HIV, you need to do a test. Right now in Dominica, rapid tests that we are doing, tests for the antibody of that your body produces when you're HIV positive. Now, because the virus is so smart that your body only recognizes that this virus is in your system and starts producing the antibody, the white blood cell, the fighter cell, between 6 weeks to 3 months after. So you come to the office and you get tested. Right, depending on the time frame that you may have put yourself to risk, we might tell you after you've done that test today, you need to come back a few weeks or probably a month or two. So we have what we call a 3 months period, and it's a 3 months period from the day that you have placed yourself at risk. Your body takes at least the 6 weeks to 3 months to what we call a zero convert. All right. So let's say last week I had sex with somebody unprotected, and then somebody came to tell me that person has been running around and that person may have been involved with somebody who's HIV positive, and I came to get tested this week, man. The healthcare provider will do the test for you, but they will ask you to at least come back in two months and 3 weeks time, because the test results that you get right now this week, your body may not have zero converted, and you have to wait at least up to that 3 months period for it to zero convert. Come return, do the test again, and if the test comes back positive, then you're HIV positive. If it comes back negative, that you're in the clear. But during the time that you're waiting to do that test again in the next 3 months, you have to protect yourself at all costs. And that is what we're talking about, what we call a window period in HIV testing that we're doing. Because the rapid test really is testing for the antibody, not necessarily for the full-blown virus. I hope that is clear, Matt.
Thank you very much. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am, Matt.
All right.
Good morning.
Good.
Matt, I want to thank the gentleman for educating. And after education, Matt, you keep talking about the innocent. If people are educated, there's no more innocence. You're now educated. And I like the point he's making. He keeps making the point that it is your responsibility. People like to pass on the responsibility and believe somebody else will take that responsibility for them. That responsibility is ours. And we're no longer innocent because we've been hearing, protect yourself, HIV, HIV. Good morning, Matt.
All right, let's take our final phone call. I know you want to continue having this discussion with the National AIDS Office here. Hello, talk to me.
Yes, good morning, Matt.
Morning. It's a pleasure.
What a great program you're having.
Thank you.
On HIV awareness. Matt, this HIV and the counseling and the education process, this has been going on for a very long time. And I just don't get it why people are still, why there are so many HIV infected cases in Dominica. I believe that people have just forgotten about being careful. I think it is the responsibility of every individual to protect themselves, because it's how do you depend on the health officials to protect you? You have an obligation and a responsibility in exercising sex and protecting yourself. If you can't do that for yourself, I don't see it the responsibility of some, health organization or someone else to do it for you. And that's my views on that.
Okay, somebody else is saying to me here, Matt, good morning. I was in the same predicament with a partner. I advised the partner on her responsibility to protect and inform her partners of the legalities of doing so. So there's some awareness, but not enough going on. Yes. All right, let's see if we can get another WhatsApp message, and then we will wrap it up. 4493095. Just in terms of programming, Pastor Randy Rodney will be speaking tonight on fatherhood. So check it out sometime this evening, right here on the big station Q95. We'll take one final call and we'll wrap it up. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Happy I'm the one final call. Matt, please let me finish when I explain to the young man. Listen, by studying and listening to Dr. Sebi, he said the signs of what happened to someone allegedly infected with HIV. Hepatitis C is one. And what have to do with hepatitis is mucus in the lungs, and also sores on the body. That is mucus under the skin or in the blood. So when you study that, with mucus, congestion in the body, that breaks down, and mucus in the lymphatic system breaks down the immune system. So what brings about the mucus in the body is also what you eat, and the mucus is very good, but the mucus is what trying to fight that virus in the body, and not necessarily have to be HIV, anything that breaks down the body. I mean, from just studying what he's saying, because if you have any kind of disease or sicknesses, by a congestion of mucus, it breaks down the because mucus is like a gluten that clogs up the system. So that's why I always advocate people, please, cleansing, detoxing, and abstaining from a lot of mucus, eating food if you're sick. And also, you see that sea that we have there, the Caribbean Sea? I remember as a little boy, once you go in the sea, baby, you see mucus just coming out of our nose. It helps that. it helps expel mucus from the body, and we're not doing that like we used to before going to sea. The sea is a very good health.
So that's my point to you. This is your alternative. We have several options, if you will, of treating HIV. That is just your way of doing it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the fact. But anyway, we will take your opinion as is this morning. We have to wrap it up, sir.
Just to wrap up now, so we are telling people that we are testing across the island, and the testing continued. We've already tested since Tuesday, the 6th of June, and it's going to culminate on the 30th of June. So I'm just going to leave a few dates and a few places that persons can get tested. Okay, so on Friday the 23rd, there's testing at the Dominica Planned Parenthood Association, and yes, on Friday the 23rd, testing at the Dominica Planned Parenthood Association. On Monday the 26th of June, there's testing at the Thibault Health Center and the Vikas Health Center. On Wednesday the 28th of June, in the Portsmouth District, there's testing at the Penville Health Center and the Ansley Health Center. And also in Portsmouth Health District, on Thursday the 29th of June, Dodan Health Center, the Clifton Health Center, and the Dubla Health Center. And on Friday the 30th of June, there'll be testing going on in 6 different places: at the Portsmouth Hospital in Portsmouth, at the Marigot Health District in the Wales School, at the Roseau Health Center in the Roseau District, at the National HIV and AIDS Response Program, which is next to Whitchurch, and at St. Joseph Health Center, there'll be testing going on, and there's testing going on the Lapland Health Center. But if anybody wants any information on HIV and AIDS and discussion, they can always call the National HIV Office at 266-3570, 266-3569, 266-3498, or 440-3253. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you so much. I'm hoping that we can have another discussion sometime in the future.
Definitely, Matt. Just give me a call and we can always arrange that.
Does the nurses or health professionals have a responsibility? My question.
Yes. So
you can come down to
a few guests, and we can have a good discussion.
We can have a good discussion.
We can have a very good discussion on that.
You know, do they have the responsibility to protect the innocent? But it's 9:44. Let's see if we can take one last caller, and because a lot of telephone calls coming in here on the whole topic of AIDS, HIV. Hello, talk to me.
Matt, it's me again.
Talk to me.
I was not completing my statement, and I have researched it, and I come back to the reasons why I have a problem.
I'm happy you could call back, doctor.
Let me just tell you, because of that same thing. Our laws allow for mandatory testing for the other STIs. It does not allow for mandatory testing for the HIVs. And my thing is that we should make our laws across the board consistent with these STIs. So it's our laws that have to be changed. So if somebody says, I don't want to be tested, you can't force them. Whereas for syphilis and the other STIs, our law allows for mandatory testing. Okay, so
Doctor, thank you very much. I'm hoping that you can join us in some discussion going forward.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, sir, it was a pleasure. Say hi to your boss, huh?
All right, I'll do that. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Thank you. Are you a father?
Yes, definitely, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
a father.
Like you said that like he was not too sure. Thank you very much. Going back.
Have a good one, man.
All right, good.
It makes me laugh.
When Africans go to the bank, I would like to say hi to my money and leave.
Lets me share my happiest moments and hear a comforting voice when I need it most.
It'll be all right.
It's like a best friend. That's why I get everything out of my phone with a Flow prepaid combo plan.
Save up to 95% on data, talk, and text in one simple plan. The bigger you go, the bigger you save on the fastest and most reliable 4G network. Dial *129# now to activate our 7-day large combo plan and get 1,000 megs of data, 1,000 minutes, and 1,000 texts for just $29.99 with Flow.
Again, we will bring you the latest 8 o'clock position of the weather system affecting the Eastern Caribbean. Just wanted to make a quick comment there. On the weekend, we witnessed or we heard of a series of vehicular accidents just wanted to talk about one of the accidents that I saw some minutes after in the Fortenay area. And from all my reports, the big accident, somebody's still at the hospital. Was caused by, according to all indications, a truck, I've been told, with a faulty brake line. A dump truck that's being used, we're talking about it all week, about 2 weeks ago. This private truck's being used to carry garbage. The brake line, according to what I'm hearing again, and based on what I saw, went faulty, resulted in, 2 other vehicles being involved, one being pushed over a cliff and another being damaged very, very seriously. Can we just check these trucks to see whether they're good with their brakes? Carrying loads of rubbish. And the brakes faulty. Can somebody investigate? The Solid Waste Department to find out what are some of the trucks being used to carry these garbage? Or we may have more of those happening on our roads. I'm asking the authorities at this time, please check our trucks. This is a dangerous trend taking place, and we have to look out before it happens again. 9:50, hello.
Morning to you, sir.
How you doing?
And your listeners, I'm good.
Uh-huh.
Matt, read this accident and this garbage truck, Matt.
Yes. Is it a garbage truck, or it was a truck carrying garbage, which is a different thing?
Yeah, it was a makeshift truck.
Right.
Right. Now, I am saying there should be no excuse, absolutely no excuse, my brother, why this government should not invest in at least 4 to 6 brand new rubbish trucks to take care of our garbage system all around the country. Matt, this government has money basically spending or giving to its supporters or to people basically to catch a vote. And I am saying, Matt, as a concerned citizen of my country, we need better than that. We need better representation than that. Matt, not even the guys that are behind the trucks disposing of this garbage, they are properly attired, my brother. These guys don't have respirators, they don't have gloves, they don't have what it takes to do the job. And obviously, things like that will happen on a continuous basis. Because when these poor truck drivers in Dominica have to risk their lives, to put their lives at risk, to go ahead overload their dump trucks with rubbish upon rubbish to try to clean the country. It is a very sad state we are in. And things like that will continue to happen.
I don't know if you saw the truck. Did you have a chance to see the truck?
Matt, I just passed there this morning. And
It's still there.
I'm in Wallows area now doing a job, so I had the opportunity to pass it to see the truck this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Still basically hanging over the quep.
And two people almost lose their lives or lost their life there. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have things back to front in that country. We have money spending as a government all about the police and things that are the basic things in the country that needs to be addressed. Rubbish disposal, garbage or garbage system. It is not in order. 4 to 6 brand new trucks can cost this government absolutely nothing and get these guys who are working behind the trucks properly attired. Man.
It is a priority right now. I mean, based on what I saw there on the weekend, some people could have lost their lives there.
It is.
Some people are currently hospitalized. I'm just saying, please, do something about it. Do something. The authorities do something about it. Hello, this cannot continue or should not be allowed to continue. Hello.
Yes, Matt. Good morning.
Morning to you.
Okay.
Hi.
Yes, wasn't it just last week or the week before you had this lengthy discussion about these trucks, the drivers not being paid? Then when you finally got to interview someone regarding that, his reply to you was, they should be lucky that they got to move their truck, which was unacceptable. So this is the result of it. It was just a matter of an accident waiting to happen. And it's not only the driver's life that is at risk, they're actually putting the public at large at risk. And this is just negligence on the part of the government or whatever agency, whatever department, but this is unacceptable.
It is unacceptable. We're taking another phone call. It's 9:54. I'm hoping that the people still at the hospital are doing much better and are recuperated fine. Hello, talk to me.
Yes, morning, Matt.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Matt, those rubbish trucks, you see, when they carry the rubbish, it has a kind of acid. And that acid eats up the chassis. And the brake lines on them is mounted on the chassis. So there's a possibility that they must always be checking it and cleaning it up. You understand?
I'm understanding, but I'm saying I'm not the investigator at this time, and they would do their own investigations and come to their own conclusions. But clearly, this truck, you can check the DNO. It was the brakes, it appears, from many reports, was faulty. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You know, I just have to laugh when I listen to the solid waste people. Now, we have the Minister of Tourism coming out, and if you listen well to him, he's blaming the consumers, the public, for the situation of the solid waste matter. But I am saying, we have the PRO of the solid waste. Because he's coming out with the same message. Soon, you will find the Prime Minister coming up and giving an excuse. They have no excuse whatsoever for the number of years they have been collecting heavy money. Because the other day, if you notice well, one of them, of the two, either the Minister of Tourism or the PRO of the solid waste, if you listen well, one of them was blaming the people entirely of the country for the situation. But let me tell you something, the millions of dollars, you cannot count on your fingers and toes, the millions of dollars that have been collected on behalf of solid waste. Apparently, not a quarter that has gone there, or even 10%.
All right, Cole, I'll tell you what. Somebody's just reporting to me, too, that one of the persons involved in this, in a really serious accident on the weekend is currently at the Princess Margaret Hospital ICU. So there's one of them currently at the ICU because of what? 40 trucks? Hello, talk to me.
Yes, Matt, you caught me off because I did not finish and make my point.
Address to what?
Matt, over the weekend there, that is yesterday, I heard a lady was saying in a church that she was coming down on the hill at the back of by the convent high school there, and when she pumped her brakes, then she didn't get her service brakes.
Well, you go in on another report there, caller. I'm sorry, we're dealing with the rubbish trucks there and the faultiness of that. Maybe you can call and tell us a little more. Hello, talk to me.
Good morning, Matt.
Yes.
The amount of money Roosevelt Skerrit has made selling Dominican passport, he can afford to buy 10 rubbish trucks, one for each parish. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have 3 more minutes, and plus 10 o'clock, we take the news from the news desk. The news out there. Don't forget tonight, Kingdom Connections. The focus is fathers. Hello, talk to me.
Matt, good morning, and good morning to your listeners.
Yes, hello.
Matt, it's not by accident you have all this garbage, all this alcohol consumption and partying in Dominica. All that is a system geared at reducing the expectations from life of the people. So the people kind of just sit back and everything's going to, I like to just taking everything for granted. So the garbage is part of the system. So people, when you have people living in dirty and uninhabitable conditions, they lose the expectation from life. So that is part of the entire system to keep Dominicans the way they are. Matt, thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much. Somebody's reporting to me again here. The one at the ICU, the patient there, is not doing very well. Let's say a prayer for Oyo, out of Newtown there, involved in this very serious accident there, Fortney Road. Check it out. What you're seeing there in that picture on DNO is not really everything that you see, that surfaced there on the weekend. This white truck pushed another HRV below the ravine. That vehicle was totally crushed. This guy, Oyo, is now calling for his life there at the ICU. Please say a prayer. Hello, talk to me.
Good morning, Matt. Very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
I pray that the gentleman who is in the ICU, that God will heal him. He is the great physician.
He is.
Matt, you see, we have a society that a lot of people just looking at the messenger. They are not paying attention to the message. It's about who says it. And you see, as the people said, you were highlighting that thing, and I always find it that's not a good thing. No. When people talk about payment, you hear a lot of truckers engaged by solid waste, and they are not being paid. They are being owed how much thousands of dollars. No. Your ability to receive your payment will give you the ability to service your truck on time, buy it brakes, proper tires, etc. Now, I heard General Jacob had made a very callous comment when people asked about the monies being owed to the truckers and saying, like they should be happy and thankful that their trucks are being engaged by solid waste. They will get their money soon. I just find that was just pure nonsense General was talking about, because the people are incurring costs to go all around and pick up garbage. You have to put petrol in your vehicle. Your truck's supposed to be in proper working condition, license and insurance when it is due. So you see, Matt, people need to get serious in this country. Things are being taken too much for granted, and you see what is the end result of it. 2 innocent people on their vehicles. One is very ill at the hospital because of total negligence as far as what you have said.
Yes, total negligence. Total negligence.
So citizens of Dominica, stop with all you red, blue, and green, and who say that I don't hear in, I don't listen in, and just making excuses. There are some apologies, Mark. It doesn't matter what point you try to put for the benefit of the whole nation. They're so caught up in their red, green, and blue politics. They're still making apologies, Matt. People wake up, smell the coffee.
Thank you so much, and we'll continue talking this afternoon from 1. Talk on the block right here, Q95. I'll see you later.
When the union's inspirations through
Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m. The Dominica Public Service Union calling on all its members to a very special meeting. Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m. Come and discuss salary negotiations.
We're coming to get our check.
The government and the DPSU. Let your voice be counted. The strength of many, the power of one. United in purpose, united in action. Get your t-shirts today, only $15. The Dominica Public Service Union special meeting, Tuesday, June 20th, Decision Day, 4:30 p.m.
makes us strong.
Good morning and welcome to Q95's morning news update for today, Monday, June 19th, 2017. Brought to you compliments Dominica Brewery and Beverages Limited and DigiCell.
Get ready for the best water sports festival on the planet. Dive Fest 2017, July 7th to 16th, Dominica. Kicking off with the annual happy hour, scuba diving, boat races, pool party night, kids treasure hunt, lionfish day, beach party, island-wide cleanup drive, whale watching, roast bakes and rum shop, and the return of the Xing Ping Ting. Dive Fest 2017, July 7th to 16th, presented by the Dominica Water Sports Association and Kupuli. Play fast, play loud, play bold. Enjoy flexibility and best value from Digicel Play's new TV and broadband bundles. With Play Fast, enjoy 32 video channels. Play Loud gives you 46 video channels. Then there's Play Bold, 98 video channels. All bundles come with 50 music channels, 8 radio channels, and 8 megs internet. Choose the bundle that's right for you. Sign up today. Get free connection, free installation, and set-up box. Or sign up for our TV-only offer. Call 616-1700 for details.
In news this morning, a series of vehicular accidents occurred over the weekend in Dominica. Q95 received updates on 5 accidents which took place in different areas around the island. However, no fatalities have been reported. Details are still a bit sketchy, but on Saturday there was an accident involving a garbage truck and 2 other vehicles in Fortney. It is said that the contracted driver who owned the truck hit 2 vehicles, pushing one over the side to the lower road. Reports say that the cause of the crash was due to a faulty brake line. Q95 FM will continue to follow this developing story and provide information as it becomes available. In the region, Marcia Ayers Caesar, who was forced to resign within days of her appointment as a High Court judge, has threatened to take Trinidad and Tobago President Anthony Carmona and the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, JLSC, to court if she is not given her job back as a judge. Ayers Caesar said if she was not reinstated as a judge, then she will be suing for compensation for loss of office and the benefits that go with it, in addition to claims that she's entitled to be a judge. She will also be suing for the damages to her reputation, the Trinidad Guardian reported. Ayers Caesar has signaled her intention to sue Carmona through Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi and the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, JLSC, which is chaired by Chief Justice Ivor Archie, in 2 pre-action protocol letters sent by her legal team to Carmona, Archie, and Al-Rawi on Friday. And Russia has warned the United States-led coalition fighting in Syria that it will view its aircraft as targets after a Syrian military plane was shot down. The coalition said it had shot down the Syria Su-22 after it bombed US-backed fighters in Raqqa province on Sunday. Russia, Syria's main ally, said it was also halting communications with the US aimed at preventing air incidents. Syria condemned America's flagrant attack, saying it would have dangerous repercussions. And that concludes your morning news update, brought to you compliments Dominica Brewery and Beverages Limited and DigiCell. I am Richie Farrell with the Q95 News team. Would like to thank Matt for linking. Join us again at 12 p.m. for the midday news package with Kimberly Benjamin. Good morning.
Get ready for the best water sports festival on the planet. Tyfest 2017, July 7th to 16th in Dominica. Kicking off with the annual happy hour, scuba diving, boat races, pool party night, kids treasure hunt, lionfish day, beach party, island-wide cleanup drive, whale watching, roast bakes and rum shop, and the return of the Jing Ping Ting. Tyfest 2017, July 7th to 16th, presented by the Dominica Water Sports Association and Kupuli. Play fast, play loud, play bold. Enjoy flexibility and best value from Digicel Play's new TV and broadband bundles. With Play Fast, enjoy 32 video channels. Play Loud gives you 46 video channels. Then there's Play Bold, 98 video channels. All bundles come with 50 music channels, 8 radio channels, and 8 megs internet. Choose the bundle that's right for you. Sign up today. Get free connection, free installation, and set-top box. Or sign up for our TV-only offer. Call 616-1700 for details.
The Morning Drive on Q95, the big station. The best place to listen to the latest soul-to-soul pulsating sounds and Caribbean rhythms. Every morning in crystal clear liquid stereo. Only on Q95, the big station. Feel the morning rush of a quiet storm of heart-to-heart music, local talent, and inspirational messages on caring, sharing, loving, and giving. All the hits, all the time. You just have to listen to The Morning Drive, only on Q95, the big station.
DJ Stream, advice from me and Virgo representing our main, and we say
Du mon soleil éclaire le jour de nuit. Du mon soleil, tu es l'âme de ma
A pleasant good morning to the listeners of Q95 FM radio. So welcome to the Morning Drive. Just about 10 minutes moving up past the hour, 10 in the morning. Beautiful Monday on the Nature Island. Gotta keep it nice and easy, nice and calm, nice and mellow. We just cruise through right here on Q95 this morning. You guys who got it locked in up there in Toronto, Canada, folks up there in the UK, the NYC, Boston, and of course Chicago. A pleasant good morning going out to you guys, of course. You got it locked in any one of the various Caribbean islands. Pleasant good morning to you. It's your boy DJ Slim right here. I'm gonna take you guys up to 11 a.m. Nice and easy, nice and calm, just like this. Of course, to those of you who got it locked in right here on the Nature Island this morning, big shout outs going out to you guys, alright?
Une image. Elle a fermé les yeux, elle s'est approchée. Et je me suis penché, on s'est embrassé. L'image du soleil brillait dans ma tête. Elle allait voler comme bon lui semblait. C'est certainement pour ça que je pensais voler.
Folks, don't let Marigot got it locked in. Jedi Sounds and the rest of the family. Don't date Marigot. I gotta say a pleasant good morning to you guys, right? Yeah, boy. Of course, if you got it locked in and you're digging this vibe right here, you send us a WhatsApp message right here in the studios of Q on the number 615-1426. Send us a WhatsApp message, man. Let us know that you're locked in, you're enjoying the vibe. If it's somebody's birthday or anniversary, you'd like them to know that you're thinking of them this morning. 615-1426.
Elle a fermé les yeux, elle s'est approchée. Et je me suis penché, on s'est embrassé.
Keeping the vibe just like this right here.
L'image du soleil brillait dans ma tête. Elle allait voler comme bon lui semblait. C'est certainement pour ça que je pensais voler. Pour soigner mes blessures, elle a posé ses lèvres. Après ça, le bonheur a de cette heure-là.
If you prefer to call instead of sending a WhatsApp message, you could give me a call on the number 449-1095.
Mi amor. C'est l'amour. C'est l'amour. En vision, Karine embrouillé moi. Moi la cavre au cap les raisons, jamais ou arrêter. Tout à ce qu'est sous fond, j'allais c'est si belle vie, ça j'arre.
Gotta say a pleasant good morning going out to Patrickson. I got it locked in, loving this vibe right here. All the folks who got it locked in down there in Maho, Antonia and the rest of the family. Good morning, good morning. really hope you guys enjoyed your weekend like I did, right? Somebody's birthday today. Because the birthday greetings going out to Vicky. Coming from your girl Scratchy, alright? It's your big day today. Wishing you all the best. And of course, many, many, many more to come.
Jamais
Gonna squeeze this one right here back from the TOP. Right back from the top. Beres Hammond. This one is called The Doctor's Orders.
I feel a shiver. I'm feeling down and out. I'm a true believer.
If you're just now tuning in, that's your boy DJ Slim right here.
I know it's not the flu. It's so
in the morning drive, Q95 FM radio.
I feel a trembling when I wake. Come back and give another break. I feel a shiver running up my spine. This hurting feeling hits me all the time. Every time you go away, seems I can't live another day. Oh, my bed, it is so cold. You got my happiness on hold.
Toronto is loving this right here.
Feel a ton of joy.
Loving the reggae in the morning.
Gets warm.
I got you covered, man.
About you holding you, squeezing you.
Because at this time we're sending out advanced birthday greetings.
Loneliness gives me a fight.
Going out to Joe Nia.
Close my eyes.
Coming from your sister Scratchy, alright?
Sleepless night.
Advanced birthday greetings to you.
Oh, the shiver, baby. I'm on the doctor's order. I need you, baby. The remedy is you, girl. Don't you know? I feel a shiver. I'm feeling down and out. I'm a true believer. I know what it's all about. I know it's not the flu. It's all because of you. I feel a trembling when I wake. Come back and give another break. I feel a shiver running up my spine. This lonely feeling hits me all the time. Every time you go away, seems I can't live another day. I feel a shiver when I wake. Come back and give another break. Still really and truly. No second fiddle. Still really and truly. First class. She called my name from coast to coast, telling people how she means me the most. Whenever she passes by, she always finds herself with another guy. She even goes as far to say that I'm her superstar. But girl, oh girl, I'm not a substitute lover. Oh no, oh girl, don't take me for the substitute lover. Oh no, yeah. Whenever I call you on the telephone, there's someone to say you're not at home. Girl, you always have an alibi. It seems to me you have another guy. Don't intend to climb your love ladder or get caught up in your rapture. You see, girl, oh girl, don't take me for no substitute lover. Oh no, oh girl, I'm not a substitute lover. Oh no. Get yourself together and change your act with your behavior. You might get caught in a trap. Sometimes I wonder if your love is really true by your action, little girl. It won't get through. Oh girl, I'm not a substitute lover. Oh no, oh girl, don't take me for no substitute lover. Oh no, still really and truly, no blame me, no second fiddle. Still really and truly, first class love is what I need.
Well, that's it right here.
She called.
Gonna go take a short break. Gotta go pay some bills. So don't touch that dial when we get back. Some more reggae vibe right here on the big station this morning, alright? Keep it locked.
She even go as far to say that.
East ITSA Trading Limited has just received a shipment of top quality instant whole milk powder in 25 kilogram bags at the best price in town. Special price only $276 per 25 kilogram bag and wholesale price $290. Visit ISA Trading Limited Wholesale at 106 Independence Street or check out our distribution center in Canefield today.
Mopping's Pink Connection train is ready, so get on board from 19th to 30th June. Installation is free. Did you hear that?
What you said there?
Installation absolutely free.
Yes, I. Cable lovers, get signed up and enjoy over 80 movie channels, pay-per-view events, local programming, and much, much more. Net lovers, get signed up and enjoy surfing the net, video calling, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and much more. You can't afford to miss out. Switch for free.
But hold on, there's more. Disconnected customers zero your balance and get reconnected for free with a bonus of 1 free extension.
You heard that? 1 free extension.
Don't wait, the train is passing through.
Get on board from 19th to 30th June.
Terms and conditions apply because life is better with Mopping.
Advertise where everyone's listening. Advertise on Q95 today. Get more bang for your buck. Talk shows, news, sports, music shows, entertainment events, weekend shows, Newsweek reviews, early morning shows, evening and daytime shows, hot tips on health, nutrition, security, traffic, weather, environment, and more. Place your display banners on the Q95 website, www.q95da.com, with live links to your own website. Advertise on Q95, your one-stop shop for audio and video streaming, breaking news, sports, and entertainment. Advertise on Q95. Get value for your money. Call 767-448-5822 today. The Big Station.
right here, just about 56 minutes moving up past the hour 10 in the morning. Dropping this one right here once again. A real ghetto pain.
While the Frenchman says we are a menace to society, but they don't know what it's like. It's really like what it's really like. It's real ghetto pain. To face real ghetto pressure. To face real ghetto pain. To face real ghetto pressure. On we go. Our hatred try to uphold. Our brothers turn to crime, killing each other for a dime. From a little cottage in the grave. Pull up at the Sunday again, butt cover. From a little cottage in the grave, I wrote these lines to you. From a little cottage in the grave, I realize I love you still. From a little cottage in the hills, way down west in England, this man said, he said, pining for your love. Baby, I miss you. Now my lips wanna kiss you. I called you on the phone. To my surprise, you were not home. But from a little cottage in the grave, I wrote these lines to you. From a little cottage in the grave, I realize I love
DJ Sleep.
brothers getting jaded, some sniffing cocaine, some getting high, linking sense media high, some get high, jamming sense media cane, then go west to watch sunset at the Ritz Cafe. But from a little cottage in the grave, I wrote these lines to you. From a little cottage in the grave, I realize I love you.
Tell her try your best just to make it quick. Come and tend to the sick. Cause there must be something she can do. This heart is broken in two. Tell her it's a case of emergency. There's a patient by the name of Gregory. Night nurse. Only you alone can quench this thirst. My night nurse. Oh God. All the pain is getting worse. I don't wanna need attendance for minors around the clock. Round and round. 'Cause there's no prescription for me. She's the one, the only remedy. My night nurse. Only you alone can quench this thirst. My night nurse, make it rain. All the pain is getting worse.
When I find that girl, all I got on a sweat, my girl, I'll be the only one for me. The one that makes my life complete. Yeah.
DJ Stream, advice from me, brother. Saying I mean,
When I find that girl, all I got on a sweat, my girl, I'll be the only one for me. The one that makes my life complete. Yeah. And when I find that girl, all I got on a sweat, I swear, she'll be the one that conquers me. My love is in control of me.
Nice and easy, nice and calm, nice and mellow right here. On the morning drive this morning.
My soul
So we're doing it right here.
is on my side, all alone.
Let us say a big shout out to Wapo. Coming from Christine up there in Soufriere.
In front of my pain. Good love, something that I wanna embrace. Yeah.
Keep the messages coming in.
Size there, but no queen to share.
Just send in your WhatsApp messages
I wanna know your name.
to the number 615-1426.
When I find that girl, all I got on a swear that girl, I'll be the only one for me. The one that makes my life complete. Yeah. And when I find that girl, all I got on a swear that she'll be the one that conquers me. My love will take control of me. Yeah. Could it be my next door neighbor? Real love, I keep me on my best behavior. Yeah. Could it be my closest friend? Yeah. Real love, it can never be the same again. No. Got a fancy car, but no one's around. Please say that I wanna know your name. Right now, right now.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Wherever I'll be, cross the 7 seas, you're always on my mind. Distance don't change a thing. Many said we aren't meant to be, like flames in the ocean, dying in the motion. But look at us now, look what we found. We're soaring high, way off the ground. You gave me wings, now I can fly, bursting through the clouds, then shooting high like the stars. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Wherever I'll be, cross the 7 seas. DJ Stream playing, DJ Stream. Advice from distance don't change a thing. Many said he would die easily, like flames in the ocean, dying in the motion. But look at him now, look what he found. He's soaring high, way off the ground.
Yeah, she give me loving at the right time. Every day I love her just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Every day I love her just a little bit more, and she loves me the same.
Of course, so that's it for me here
Every guy that fucks her,
on the morning drive.
they say she's sweet.
So keep it locked right here to the big station Q95 FM radio as we bring to you Easy Rock 951 at 11.
Fresh and green.
Of course, I will be back on your radio this afternoon, 4 p.m. Be sure to tune in for that, alright? Until then, it's your boy Slim signing out. Bye-bye, I love you.
I love her just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Every day I love her just a little bit more, and she loves me